Yo, welcome to the OT99 Banter Room where opinions are shared and smoke gets served. Look, we're back again with another show. It's your boy Therms, and we've got the W, man. We've got the W. Cheese! I'm so gassed. Look, before we've even started, before we kicked off the show, Amrinda, big up Amrinda, my G, says, well done. Are you guys now Ruben in? Look, that's a good thing to kick off the show. Look, is Manchester United Ruben in? Look, for me, look, I'm not Ruben in and I'm not Ruben out. I'm sitting on the fence. I'm sitting on that side like how Garnacho does, you get me? But today he wasn't sitting on that, and apart from the bench, you get me? Because them fans put pressure before he even stepped out. The fans was giving him smoke, and the manager said, you know what? Let me not even put this guy on the pitch because the heat, I can feel it from the fans. And you know what? Yeah, I wanted to see how the fans how they would have reacted to Garnacho. Some said, you know, they would have supported him. Some said, you know, they would have booed him. And I thought that they was going to boo him. I said it in the warm-up, the build-up to this. I said, look, man, United fans are going to boo Garnacho for the simple fact that it was wearing the Aston Villa top. You know what I mean? Pretending like he's giving support to Rashford. I knew that he was going to get booed. And you can see the hostility before he even touched pitch. You understand? And the manager knew what time it was. He had to keep him on bench, and that was that. But look, for me, like I said, it's less about the manager Amorim in or Amorim out. It's more about, you know what? Like I said, we heard Rashford's interview with Gary Lineker, and you know, Rashford gave some interesting takes, and he said, you know, Manchester United has not begun the rebuild. Do you understand? Every time we get a manager, we bring them in 18 months, 2 years, and then we're getting rid of him and bringing in another manager. We're getting rid of a whole crop of players and bringing in a new crop. Like, this is it. And I want Manchester United to actually stick out a project and actually show faith in someone and grind it out with that person. But at the same time, I do understand where the fans are coming from. I do understand where Ineos are coming from. I do understand, look, when you haven't recorded back-to-back wins, when you're sitting flirting with relegation last season, like, these are all justifiable, sackable offenses. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I can see why anyone would say Amorim out. And for me, I'm not here to say, oh, like, if someone says Amorim out, I'm just gonna be like, I hear you. Like, get me? Someone says Amorim in, I'm gonna be like, yeah, well, he hasn't done anything to deserve it. But it's just hope and prayer at the minute. At the minute, you're just hoping that he can turn things around. And do you know what? With this team, right, it just shows that they play when they want. Do you understand? Like, for me, we've been hearing so much about systems and tactics and formations and no midfield. But look, you look at Chelsea's midfield, £100 million Caicedo, you know, World Cup winner. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've got World Cup winners in Chelsea's midfield. What's his name? Sorry, let me just get the name. It's lost my head. Enzo Fernandez, sorry. And then you got Cole Palmer. Do you understand? Like, that midfield trio probably worth about 250 plus million upwards. Like, versus a guy who they say is aging in Casemiro and he can't last 90 minutes and he's, do you know what I mean? And he didn't really, because he got sent off, didn't he? But and I'll get to that later. And then you've got Bruno Fernandes, who people say is not a midfielder. Look, Manchester United wasn't having, where was the discussion about the midfield? Where was the discussion about being overrun? It wasn't there. It wasn't there. Manchester United, there was no talk about that. And then it makes you think, like, we're up against arguably one of the better midfields in the league against old man Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, who's not a midfielder. Do you know what I mean? So where's the talk of the midfield? It's like Manchester United, it's all about their mentality for me. Manchester United are choosing to show up when they want to show up and put in a performance. I think the difference today when it comes to that midfield, right, and the team. So I'll go with I'll go like De Ligt. De Ligt had an amazing game, and one of the reasons why he did so well because he was pushing up high, he was aggressive with it, he was pushing into the midfield, it was marking tight. His man, guys like Palmer wasn't allowed to influence the game. Our guys will mark them tight and not allowing them to turn. All of these things that Manchester United should have been doing in previous games with our defense, we did it today. Maguire didn't put a foot wrong. The Ligt has just been star quality today, and Mazraoui as well is ever dependable. Yeah, you might lack him the attacking potency from the right hand side, but what he does bring is that assurance defensively as well. And he recycles the ball a little bit better. Do you know what I mean? So for me, Mazraoui was a big plus for us because he's Mr. Versatile and he's Mr. Reliable, especially when he's playing. So look, for me, like the defense put in a shift. Banter didn't put a foot wrong. Do you know what I mean? And it's just a normal performance where you're not talking about, you know what I mean? There's one time when he made a save, I can't remember whose shot it was, and he kind of didn't clear it out of the danger area. But outside of that, I mean, nobody's talking about Banter, and that's how I like it. I don't want our keepers being the talk of the town. They should have quiet games. Like, nobody should be focused on you. And that's how it was with Banter. So I'm glad that the pressure's not huge on Lamans to start. And I'm glad that Banter is somewhat settled a little bit. Do you know what I mean? And we're not starting off on a back foot. We're not starting off conceding a goal, and it's just like a whole upward, a challenge to get back in the game. So I'm happy about that. I'm also happy about Luke Shaw coming from a horrid game against City, getting smoked, coming, into this game again, having a really, really good game. Like, this is something that we. You know what I mean? Like, this Manchester United team, and this is one of the beauties of the Premier League, is because where 70%, probably 80% of the footballing population world would have looked at this game and said, this is a 3 points to Chelsea from the outset. Do you know what I mean? This is the club world champions. Do you know what I mean? This Manchester United, again, showed people that you can't sleep on the team. Like, and this is what's frustrating about Man United. You never know what you're going to get with Manchester United. You really don't. You're either going to get packed. Do you know what I mean? And I had Flex's match preview or something along the lines with this game. It's just like, you know what? With Man United, you don't know what you're going to get. And it's true. Like, you could get packed 3-0. We can go out and grind a draw, or, Manchester United can go out and get the win. And luckily enough, we did get the win. But this team, you never know. I always say, like, it's like at this minute, it's like it's the worst, best team out, in a sense where we're fighting relegation on one hand, we're winning trophies under Eric Ten Hag back to back, winning trophies in our worst era, we're breaking all the worst records you can think of. Do you know what I mean? This team can go on and beat Chelsea convincingly. Do you know what I mean? And I think it would have been this game wasn't convincing, actually, to be fair, but you could see why it wasn't convincing. When we went down to 10 men, everything crumbled, man. We was cruise control. We went down to 10 men, and what happens? Manchester United start to go back to their shell. Mistakes, anxiousness starts to creep in. We played a 4-4-1, and it was just struggling to get a foothold of the game. Struggling. And you would have thought that we was down a man when Chelsea, you know what I mean? It just doesn't, it's like Man United weren't coached to play with 10 men. Do you know what I mean? It was a struggle for us, and Chelsea gradually, slowly started to grow into the game. And I always knew from when it was 2-0 that Manchester United, that's one of those scorelines that really trick you. It really does, because it gives you a full sense of hope, because all it is Chelsea needs to get one goal in the game, and then for the rest of the game, you're just nervous. And that's how it ended up being. But Amrenda says again, he says, are you not worried about getting a red card when you are up? When you're up, that Casemiro was stupid, especially when you're on course to get 3 points again. 10 man. Look, I agree with you, Amrenda, man. That red card annoyed me, man. Annoyed me. And second yellow, it annoyed me. And it was less of the second one, to be honest. It was more the first one. Do you understand that silly challenge that he made that didn't need to be a booking? It feels like it's like a standard compulsory thing with Casemiro that he gives away. He goes down recklessly, he lunges, he's miles away, he fouls the player and he gets a yellow card. Do you know what I mean? And what I don't see from Casemiro is more of those professional fouls that doesn't lead, you know what I mean, to a booking. He's always going to get a booking. And when you get a booking like that for something so soft, in times like this, where you really make, to be fair, more time out of 10, right? Let's say, I would say 7 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10, that's not even a booking. I feel like the referee was more pressured to give Casemiro a second yellow because he knows that Sanchez got a blatant red card. And then it just feels like referees feel like less pressure to equal up the playing field and then book a Man United player. But it was silly. Like, it was a silly card, man. Like, Casemiro was easily the most experienced player on that pitch. Do you understand? And when he's doing stuff like that, where he's doing too much grabbing and all, like, luckily he got his foot to the ball. But when he's doing all of that holding, grabbing stuff, like, you're only just opening up the door for the referee to think about something that he doesn't need to be thinking about. Like, we was not in desperation mode. He wasn't like the last man or anything like that. Like, we had plenty of cover, and Casemiro just goes and gives away that silly foul. And then look, Manchester United made things difficult for ourselves, and Manchester United always do that. It's rare when Manchester United get that chance where we are having cruise control in the game. Like, it always makes ourselves, we always make it difficult for ourselves. And Render again saying also where Sesko at. Look, Sesko had to get sacrificed. Sesko had to get sacrificed for the greater good. Look, to be honest, I thought that this was the game, Chelsea, yeah, where we were in cruise control and Sesko was going to influence it. Like, that link up that he had with Mbeumo, I kind of like it, you know. Like, that was the long ball to Sesko. Sesko does the header, kind of gives that flick on. Mbeumo runs onto it. He's in on goal. Do you know what I mean? And then Sanchez, he had no choice but to rush out, and then he took out Mbeumo. And you can see like this Sesko is unfortunate because he hasn't had enough time or minutes to allow these partnerships to grow. You can tell Sesko's hungry. You can tell he's on it. And I think he will be influential. Like, those flick-ons was Fellaini-esque. Do you know what I mean? But for me, man, like, I don't look at Sesko on the ball and think, it's bad, you know. I just look at him right now thinking he just needs to get fed. You know what I mean? He needs to get fed, and he needs to be brought into the game more. And that's on Manchester United. And you know what? People may say, you know, maybe he's not a priority. Sesko should have been the guy that was bought. It should have been a defensive midfielder. But again, like, it's not Sesko's fault that it was bought. It's not Sesko's fault that it cost as much as he did. And certainly it's not Sesko's fault that he got subbed off today. Do you know what I mean? And that's down to Casemiro and his poor judgment, you know, poor judgment. And Sesko, man, I mean, I'm not worried in the sense where I know that we've got a good player there. I mean, if I trust Vivel, I know he's had a good track record. He's been scouting this guy for a very long time now. I trust that, you know, what he saw in Sesko is good. And hopefully when the dust settles a bit and Sesko finally gets his minutes, that he can show the world what he's about. But yeah, like Amrinda says, you know, this is a guy that has 0 GA. At the minute, it feels like every other Valtameda from, if I said his name right, for Newcastle, the Newcastle strikers off the mark. Do you know, I'm sure if Wissa was fit, very raring to go, he would have been off the mark. Do you know, it feels like every striker is off the mark. Ekatike, and by far as well. And then you've got the Gyökeres, and like all the new signings are putting in work. And then you've got Manchester United, and you're there just wondering, when is this first goal going to come? And he needs this first goal. Do you understand? He needs the first goal. Like, the longer you go without scoring, the more it starts to play in your mind. And Sesko, I just want him to get off the mark so that he can push on and kick on and know that he's a part of this team. He belongs here. Do you know what I mean? And he can go on to do great things and score good numbers for Manchester United, because we showed good faith in him. We paid big money, as you can see. And yeah, we just need him to kick on. But look, no doubt Amorim will be fuming with Casemiro. No doubt. No doubt. The first half, Manchester United was on it. And to be honest, the thing about the thing about this year is like people don't realize Manchester United play like this more time than none, where we start off good, start off well. The first maybe 10, 20 minutes, Manchester United are on fire. Manchester United is on it. Do you know what I mean? We're on it. And then what happens is we don't finish our dinner. We don't put away our chances, and we're punished for that. The difference was against Chelsea is Manchester United actually took their chances today. They took their chances today. You know, that was the only difference. I mean, it was a good goal from Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes was on it, by the way, as well today. Him, Delete was on smoke. Do you know what I mean? Like, we finished our chances then, and obviously we got the header from Casemiro as well. You know, the good flick on from Dogu back into the danger area, kind of flicked off of Maguire and then landed on Casemiro, and you put it away. Look, we finished our dinner today, and at the end of the day, that's what look, when you score goals, it breeds a confidence in the team. It breeds this belief in this team, and it also bursts that bubble of the opposition slightly, reduces their morale. You can see clear as day when we went down to 10 men, wind in the souls of Chelsea players. When they scored their goal, wind in the souls of Chelsea players. Look, if Manchester United kept our 11 men, even gone on to get the third, it would have totally polished off Chelsea. There'll be no hope. Look, when United went 2-0 up, Chelsea went on and made 3 substitutions. And thank God they did that. Thank God Maresca did that, because they took off all their potency. They took off Estavio, they took off Neto, and they took off Cole Palmer. They probably got one eye on the European games coming up, or whatever it is they got to play, or is it cup games or whatever it is they're going to be playing. And that was a massive bonus for us, because imagine those guys still on the pitch, yeah, when Manchester United just conceded a goal. Can you, like, look, the extra time that this referee was slapping on is crazy. Like, I counted it. What was the first half like? 9 minutes, and then the second half was 7 minutes. I don't know where all of those minutes came from. Altogether, 16 minutes of extra time. Where did that come from? Where did that come from, bro? Like, that is beyond Fergie time. That is beyond Fergie time. I just don't know where all of that extra time came from. But I'm glad that Manchester United was able to show grit, concentration, determination, and see it through. But I can't lie, man. When we conceded that goal, and you know what, it was Euro that switched off, man. Obviously, he came on as a sub second half and that, but he switched off for that goal. I saw Ahmad going ballistic. Like, what are you on? I see him screaming like behind Euro. Like, what are you on? Like, you can't afford to switch off. And I say this time and time again, like, Manchester United players, they always caught left ball watching too much. They need to be looking around, sensing the danger zone, looking who's behind them. Like, if you're not knowing who's behind you, the guy can take 10 yards back, run up on you, always have the one up on you for aerially, and like you're just left like there. Do you know what I mean? And it was a free header. Binder didn't even move. His feet was planted to the ground. Do you know, it's annoying, man. It really is annoying. And it's another one of those goals that it's just too easy. That was an easy header for them. Easy goal. Do you know what I mean? And Miranda says, how long Amorim safe for? How long is he safe for? Or is it game by game? Look, this football world is like fast paced like that, bro. 1 minute we're all happy and cheering. Next minute, bro, if Amorim loses 2 games back to back, look, the thing is, yeah, is these next couple of games are going to be interesting, because obviously we know Liverpool's there in the back burner coming up, but Manchester United now are thinking, whoa, the fans wasn't expecting a victory. A lot of the fans probably may not have been expecting the victory from Chelsea against Chelsea, but then you've got Brentford, and then you've got Sunderland in your next 2 games, and then all of a sudden you're thinking, like, Manchester United maybe could get 6 points from those next 2 games. And then you're thinking, like, we're in the mix here, like top 4 settings. Do you understand? Look, right now we're 1 point behind Chelsea. Like, it's looking a bit better than before, you get me? And that's the difference on how powerful 3 points makes. like looks. You understand that? You get 3 points. That's 3 draws, 3 hard-fought draws. That's what a lot of teams are doing right now. Look, shout out to Tottenham. Shout out to Tottenham. 2-0 down. 2-0 down. Do you know what I mean? They're lucky they did well to come back to make it 2-2. But the league is like that. There was a couple of draws in this week's fixtures. Like, you get your wins, bro. What looks like a disaster start, you get me? You're looking real pretty up there. You get me? But shout out Ed Weezy back in the building. Shout out Ed. What's good, bro? How you feeling? We got
the same reaction I had when we played against Arsenal.
Yeah.
I need to see it because the problem I'm having, right, is okay. We won. We get the 3 points. We're cool. Yeah. By the way, apologies, O2, for my lateness.
Bro, that's a yellow card right there. But, yellow card in the comments. Let me know what I should do, Ed.
Pause.
Pause. Yeah, that's a big pause, because
but my problem is that okay, cool. We've won, right? But it's like when you look at the performance, my problem is okay. We had so many chances or so much possession, but it didn't convert to nothing, right? We got 2 goals, but there's so many times where like Diallo will have the ball, certain plays, and the final pass will be the wrong pass. Like there was one where Bruno could have played Ahmad in, but obviously he was trying to get Sesko in to score. Ahmad done some stuff where he'll get in good positions, but he'll take that extra touch, and the defenders will get back.
Yeah.
But my problem is with Man U is that as soon as the team numbers were level, we didn't look good. So it makes me think if they didn't get a man sent off, it would have been trouble for us, because as soon as it was 10 men each, that second half looked very different for us.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we got the 3 points. Chelsea, like, it's a big win against Chelsea, and hopefully it gives the team the confidence to move on. But as I said, I'm taking it game by game, because the problem is that they said, I even wrote this down, they said that it's been 21 months, right?
Yeah.
Since Man United won back-to-back games, right, in the league. Since December 2023.
That's crazy, bro.
And that's bad. Like 21 months to win back-to-back games, and that was December 2023 with Ten Hag. So that's very poor. So as I said, I'm glad we won, but I'm like, it's gone now. Now we have to focus on the next game, and if we can win that, then okay, fair enough. I don't want to, because after the Arsenal game, remember how everyone was like, Man United season's going to be lit, and then look what happened after, right? Back to normal. Yeah. So I just hope that we build on this, because it's crazy to think that since December, it would have been 2 years this year soon that we didn't have back-to-back games, because December's around the corner, right?
It's bonkers, bro. It's mind-blowing to me. Yeah. A club of this magnitude, the magnitude, the size of it, like who we are, this Manchester United, it's mind-boggling to me, which is why you can't I was saying before you joined in it, like, this is the Premier League, right? It's a big win. That's the caption of this thumbnail. It's the big win.
Yeah.
So, like, you gotta love the Premier League in a sense where it brings up surprises. Yeah. Like, you can never rest on your laurels and think like, this is a guaranteed victory, because it's not. It is not. Like, it will shock you. Like, and we saw it with Tottenham. You know what I mean? We saw it with who else did we see it with? Leeds smashing Wolves 3-1.
Yeah.
Do you know? Brentford as well dropping points, even though Fulham has been doing well this season. Obviously, Liverpool had a little scare with Everton. Do you know, like, you could get tucked in at any point, any time. Any point and any time. Do you know what I mean? And where it's looking like a disaster season start for Man United, all of a sudden, if you go on to beat Brentford and go on to beat Sunderland, Man United's in chilling in top 4. And that's just how things can play out. Do you know what I mean? Last season, City, they lost, like, God knows, the most amount of games they've ever lost, like, compared to what they did in previous seasons. Like, it's a madness.
But the problem is that we have to be very careful here, because I have all the big teams that were in the same framework of, like, when I say Man United's name, you're talking about Liverpool's, the Arsenal, the Man Cities, the Chelsea's, right? Obviously, there's other teams that will sneak into the top 4 or 5, but we're talking about the notable names over the years, right? We're the only one that is only playing once a week. So we've got no excuse for, okay, our players are tired, or, like, we've got a whole week to prepare.
Yeah. I know we have got, and like you said previously offline, Ed, as well, like, we can play the same team week in, week out, because
I think that's why they're not too bothered about. That's why they weren't too bothered. I think about the depth of their team because they're like, if it plays out for a week or two, that's only like a game or two. It's not like how it would have been like you're missing 4 games because you've got Champions League, you've got FA Cup, you've got all these going on, isn't it? So, and they said this is Man United's lightest fixture ever.
See it. And you know what? The good thing is that we're getting a lot of the difficult games on paper out the way. So obviously Arsenal, they scumbags their way to victory. You know, annoyed me. But yeah, shout out Amrinder, that's his team. And then obviously we got it was again, we drew against Fulham. Yeah. We narrowly beat Burnley, and then obviously
so
there's this.
Next? We've got Brentford next.
Yeah,
next Saturday.
Brentford, then Sunderland, and then it is, I believe it's Liverpool. So
okay, yeah. So we've got Brentford, Sunderland, Liverpool, and Brighton.
Bro, you win these games. Like, well, I'm not talking about Liverpool, by the way. I'm just thinking about Brentford and Sunderland. You win those games. Manchester United is right back in the thick of it. Right back in the thick.
You got to remember, even Liverpool, even though Liverpool got 5 out of 5, it's not like they're playing well. They're just winning like they're winning though. At the end of the day, no one cares. Like you've got the 3 points, isn't it? So
yeah, they've got their firepower, isn't it? Like their defense is a bit shaky this season, but the firepower is carrying them through that. The midfielding, Gravenberch, I heard it was a really good goal, by the way. Do you know what I mean? Liverpool's goal.
Yeah, I watched the game. They played all right.
Yeah. So look, for me, man, what
did you think about the game? What have you covered so far about the game today?
Look, I've been talking about the good performances from De Ligt and then closing down that.
Yeah, like, De Ligt had a good game. He had a good game.
I talked about the midfield in general. How, do you know what I mean? Like, if we talk about structures, we talk about formations. I talked about Caicedo being, you know, one of the best midfielders DMs. We're talking about, their Cole Palmer being the best one of the best number 10s in the league.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You talk about Enzo Fernandez, World Cup winner. He's a really good balanced midfielder, being one of the best. You know what I mean? You're talking about a good balanced midfield of Chelsea, aggressive, like technical, and Manchester United, where you talk about Bruno Fernandes, who is not a midfielder, and Casemiro, who's aging and can't last 90 minutes, X, Y, and Z. And Manchester United, nobody was talking about the formation. Nobody was talking about being outrun or bullied, or you know what I mean? Like the difference is execution. De Ligt knowing what to do to step into that midfield, to press guys like Cole Palmer, to press these guys that the Caicedos and Enzos, to stop them from influencing the game. Like this is what we were doing. Like the man them all together collectively were doing their part to press and win the ball back straight away, especially in the first half.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what saved us, right? It's not only the sending off, it's the fact that he took all the dangerous players off. He took Neto, Palmer, and who else did he take off?
Palmer,
Estevio.
Yeah. Come on.
Anyone that could run out. The problem is that he made a mistake doing that, because having João Pedro there, he needed at least one of them that could run with the ball.
He reacted early, isn't it? He reacted early, and that's what gave me a bit of hope when we went down to 10 men again. But it's crazy how it looked very evident how like shaky we were when we went from 11 men to 10 men, and it's like, man, and this is why like Manchester United almost need things to be picture perfect when they're playing well. And if you disrupt that in any way, like when we were playing well against Arsenal and your Burnleys or whoever, when we took off Mount, who's been somewhat one of our better players this season, you take him out, you see the performance level drop. And what we saw today is when we went down to 10 men, even though Chelsea had 10 men, it looked like we had even 9 men.
But the thing is, it made me realize that Man United looks like they can only dominate if they play 12 men against 11, because when we had 11 against 10, we looked so dominant. As soon as it went 10-10.
He's what, the ref was on our side, yeah? What do you mean the 12th?
No. I'm just saying it shows that, like, even that game, that Man United were only effective with an extra man, right?
Yeah.
Because when it came to the second half and it was 10-10, it was a very level game, or even Chelsea were pushing us back.
But that's the thing, that, like, look, at the end of the day, if you look at it, what, they got sent off. Man United that's the thing. Like, when did they get there? Oh, true, you're right. 5 minutes in the game where they got the red card.
Yeah, remember you were talking on the phone and you were like, "Oh, we started well," but it's easy to start well when you've got 5 minutes. You know, it wasn't even like
we start well. Not
I know, but it wasn't even like it was like the 20-minute mark or the you know what I mean. 5 minutes is early, and we were pushing them back. But it's like I was getting worried because when it was still 1-0, I'm like, Man United, if they don't score more, we're in trouble. Come the second half, where something happens. Like Casemiro scores and he gets sent off.
What did you think of Casemiro sending off?
I feel like it was a bit soft, to be honest. I feel he got the ball. I know he put his hand like his okay. I feel like if it was just a yellow card as a first yellow card, fair enough. I still say it's a bit harsh, right? But I saw fouls that he was letting go or not even carding people for. Like Shaw, remember when Shaw grabbed back the player when they had a corner and the player he didn't even get a card for that, right? And that was worse than the Casemiro challenge because Casemiro still got the ball, but he kind of like put his arms around him so he can wrap around, like, you know what I mean, wrap the tackle around him. I feel like it was. I think the threshold for a second yellow card needs to be higher. I think individually that's a yellow card, but I don't think it was strong enough to send someone off for.
Fair enough. I thought the same way as well. I mean, I know it will sound a bit biased because obviously I'm a Man United supporter, and if I was the other way around, I'll be like happy. But if you probably ask the typical neutral what they thought about that, they'll probably say the same thing in terms of like you gave the referee like an opportunity to book you and give you a yellow, and you should never have done that. You know what I mean? So desperation wasn't there, and we gave the referee like we literally, and that's the thing about like Man United, we just don't make things easy, man. But look, for me, man, I feel like Ahmad as well. I feel like he didn't. For me, it was all about Mbumo that was trying. Bruno Fernandes was like.
But the thing is, Diallo was getting in good positions. There was 2 times. There was one time where he was on a wing, and he could have passed it into Sesko early. Then he took an extra touch and blasted across. And there's another one where it was on the right-hand side, and he could have crossed it in first time, but he tried to go around the player, and the ball went off. I feel like he just always wants that extra one touch instead of playing it first time.
And I really need Ahmad to get in the game, man. Like I said, look, we need Ahmad's. Whether he knows it or not, I think he's got 1 or 2 seasons max. Do you understand?
Because I think he had a good game. It's just the end product, isn't it? He just needs to be wary of, isn't it? That's it. Because generally, like, he was still running at players. And you have to remember the conditions were wet. I'm not trying to give it like excuses, but I think he played all right. But he just has to be mindful that he can be more effective. He just lets the ball out of his feet quicker.
Do you know what I'm happy about though? Garnacho, bro. Garnacho. There's no paper talk of Garnacho.
You made a point. Remember yesterday you said they're going to boo him. They were booing him.
Bro, I said it, bro. I told NK this, bro. Bro, you don't wear a next team's shirt yet and think you're going to be getting like applause. Like, no way. Like, yes, Manchester United.
The only person I could get away with that, the only people I've seen get away with that was Rooney when he went back to Everton, remember? And Ronaldo. When Man United played like a Juventus or Real Madrid in the Champions League, it's only, I think, because of the way he left and what he done for the club. The problem is Garnacho's not done nothing for Man United to harbour that respect here. You know what I mean?
But even those other players that you mentioned, bro, Ronaldo, if he's wearing the next team shirt, saying, whatever he said about Rashford, bro, he's getting it as well. Like, anyone can get it. At the end of the day, for me,
I think Ronaldo is exempt from it, though, man. Let's be honest, that's Ronaldo, man.
He has his cult fans, of course, but no.
But for me, he wouldn't do that because of the respect he has from the club anyway. So I don't think that would be even a question.
Look, Garnacho's there probably thinking, "Oh yes, I'm gonna get my opportunity today," and he did it.
I thought he was coming on. Remember, they were talking to him on the bench. I thought at a point he was coming on.
Yeah. I did as well. And you know what? He would have made a big difference because Man United don't like fast, tricky. Like, his movement's really good. He can get behind the last man, and he can create a bit of havoc as well. But look, at the end of the day, man, I'm happy that he wasn't a headline because any little skill, any little feint, it would have been Garnacho this or Garnacho that. And I'm just happy that Manchester United was able to get through this game, man, and get the 3 points. And look, at the end of the day, what we're sitting 7 points right about now. Joint with Sunderland and Everton that's above us, 9 and 8 respectively. And like Arsenal's on 9 points. They play tomorrow again. They play against City tomorrow. So that's going to be interesting. Someone's dropping points, if not both of them. Do you know what I mean? And City's behind us by 1 point. So it's looking all right at the minute. Do you know what I mean? So look, Man United, man, we just need to keep focused, keep our head down. You get me, pause, and then hopefully Manchester United could be in a place where we're building up a bit of confidence and momentum. But who was your man of the match though today?
I want to say Delete. I think he was solid at the back. Bruno done all right. Scored a goal. I think there's just little things Bruno needs to like his final touch, like when he could have passed to Diallo, right? Played him through, but obviously he's trying to get Sesko on the bench, like on the scores. Did I give man of the match to? It might be Bruno, he set it off and he was working hard because at a point when no one was running, when Cunha came on, Cunha wasn't running.
No pressing.
He was just there for vibes.
Do you think he was fit? I don't know, man. I know he was desperate to play.
I think it's that, but it's just that it's not his role, isn't it, to be running down like that.
Off the ball is not that type of guy.
Yeah, I feel like I'm torn between Delete and I think Delete was solid at the back, but Bruno set off the goal and he had good energy throughout the whole thing.
Outside of that City game, right? Delete has been a really, really good, consistent defender for us. Like no stress.
Yeah.
And I was really surprised to see Maguire and Delete playing in the same starting.
Yeah.
I just thought, but yeah, it worked. Like I feel like Amorim made the right selections, the right decision today, and man, we just had would you say? I know Amorim would have got a lot of the blame today if we didn't get the W, but what could you say when Casemiro is just doing things like this? Do you know what I mean? Like regardless, it's just not on. Like no.
But the thing is, and although I said it wasn't a red card, the problem is that you don't give the referee the chance to make those decisions. You know what I mean?
So look at the contrast here between the first and the second half, right?
Yeah.
So the first half, expected goals 1.43 for United, 0.05 for Chelsea, Pool possession 57% for us, 43 for them. Total shots 9 for us, 2 for them. Shots on target 3 for us, and we scored 2 of those, none for Chelsea. Big chances 3 for us, obviously we scored 2 of those, none for Chelsea. Corner kicks 3-1 to them, to us, and then passes 82% to their 77. And then if we go into the second half, it's 0.31 for us. So it goes from 1.4 to 0.3. And then it's 0.34 for them. And they had 72% possession. Total shots, them 3, us 2. Shots on target 1 each. Big chances for them 1. Corner kicks 4, we had 2. Passes 89 to them, we had 72. And then yellow cards 4 to them. But there was a big switch up in terms of the possession. It just showed that Manchester United was doing more of the sitting back and inviting that pressure. Inviting that pressure from Chelsea.
Who do you get the man of the match?
Me, Delete, bro. Delete, man.
I think Delete was, and that's why I was torn, because for me, when I was watching Delete, it's it was hard to beat him. He was getting up the field.
He was just someone that was aggressive with the tackling. He was on the front foot. It's something reminiscent of what Martinez does, but obviously he's on his way back to full fitness. It was reminiscent of that, and I feel like if Manchester United continue to learn off this and bring it into the future games, don't just be like, oh, we're playing Brentford so we can chill a little bit. No, treat them like you treated Chelsea, and you would find yourself getting more victories. It's a mental thing, because nobody's talking about today how we got bossed off the park. Oh, formation this, formation that. Nobody's talking about midfield. No one's talking about any of that. Do you understand? And that's what Manchester United is capable of doing. And that's what Eminem keeps saying. But we keep thinking that it's Captain Belieber's gonna save us. Captain Save us, and the one. So it's not that, man. It's not that. But look, I'm happy with the victory. We move on. We can watch the Arsenal City game and just breathe a bit and relax and do the successful hate watch. Them ones, and hopefully we close the gap and they both drop points. Them one there. But yeah, man, Ed Ways, man. This has been another love. I love doing shows when we win, man. And NK, man. Look, I was about to tell him about himself, man. He
No,
wasn't
but
here.
remember I told him. What did I say to him yesterday? If we win, what are you gonna say? Don't worry, we'll see him soon.
See him, bro. In the next episode, we'll see him.
We'll see him
Call him
soon.
call him to the stands, bro. You know what I mean? We have to call him. He can get a lawyer, but we're gonna chin his lawyer as well. Fam, he has to be standing on a trial and tell us why. Tell us why.
Yeah,
You know?
I don't. My prediction was close. I said 3-1.
Yeah, you did. You did.
We won. I know circumstances is sending off, but a win's a win at the end of the day.
Wins
And
a
we
win.
just hope it lays the foundations, because I thought that performance against Arsenal laid the foundations, but that wasn't the case. So hopefully this will actually win. Because as much as we say we could play well against Arsenal, when you just look at it, we didn't get no 3 points.
Facts. And that's what it come down to. And them fans there, we was talking about performance. There was just like, you can have your performance. We will
take the goals, yeah.
And that's where I'm at right now. I'm just like, you know what? I don't care, because we've had decent performances where we're like, but we're not finishing our dinner. And then we're walking away dropping points. I don't care how we play.
Yeah.
Just get your 3 points at the minute. Build confidence.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Take the heat off a little bit, and then we go again. Do you know the ones? So
so
it's all good, man.
Move on nicely to the next game.
100%. Guys, man, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your notifications. Message in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on today's game, man. Who was your man of the match? What did you think about Sesko getting subbed off? Do you feel like he's ever going to get his goal against Brentford or Sunderland? Let me know what your thoughts are on that as well. Do you want to see Lamont step back in goal? How did you feel buying their play? Me personally, like I said, no news is good news with buying their man. So, you know, he put in a decent performance. Let me know your thoughts, man, on how Shaw done and everyone else, man. Look, this is United, man. You just never know what you're going to get.
See you next week, guys.
Peace.
Peace.